Swamiji, did Jesus take the sins of the world on himself when he was crucified?
You know, a statement like that must be understood in terms of, we spoke of science and religion. Check a thing and see if it's true. Jesus himself said, test the spirits to see if they be of God. And when they make a statement like that, as we read in the Bible, or as people believe that it says in the Bible, we have to ask ourselves the simple question, if he took everybody's sins, did the world become sinless? We see that if anything, it became worse. The period that followed the life of Christ was a period of degradation with sadistic exercises in the Roman Colosseum. No, you cannot say that he took the sins of the whole world. You have to also understand that expression, the whole world, in French, when they say tout le monde, which means literally the whole world, what it really means is everybody, in a very general sense. Tout le monde likes flying, everybody likes flying, that sort of thing. It doesn't mean the whole world, literally. And so Jesus, yes, he took the sins of people, but whose sins did he take? First of all, he took the sins of his disciples so that they could declare his mission freely. That was the real meaning of it. A finite cause cannot have an infinite effect. His death on the cross could not have created freedom for the whole world. But we find that Christian saints, or the custodians of religion, say that we must work with Jesus to take on sins also. It's obvious that people still sin. What is not obvious is that those sins can be paid for in different ways. One is just by sheer suffering. Suffering is a good thing. And in fact, when you suffer, it would be very helpful to say, well, thank you. This gets rid of a karmic debt that I owe. You should be glad when you pay your debts. Don't worry about it. God is not punishing you. God is not making life miserable for you. You're making yourself miserable. This is the law of karma. You've done certain things. You have to pay for it. You can't get away from it. Even if you run away to a South Sea island or up to the North Pole, your karma will still follow you. Your tendencies will still follow you. Your nature will still be with you. Jesus, however, and these are different things that we must understand. When, first of all, if you have a heavy karma or any kind of karma, if you love God, that will be mitigated. In other words, for example, it may be your karma to lose a leg, but if you love God deeply, you may find you get only a scratch. So karma is paid, it must be paid, but it will be paid in diminishing degrees according to the grace of God. And Jesus brought that grace. And with that grace, there was a great freedom, at least to those who were close to him and who accepted. In the Bible, it says, to all those who received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Receiving God doesn't mean receiving Christ doesn't just mean, yeah, I believe in you and I'll sign a dotted line as a church member. It doesn't mean that. It means receiving him into your consciousness to the point where your ego ceases to exist because he has taken over your whole being. This is the deepest meaning of receiving. And this is what all disciples of great gurus should understand, that they should receive their guru into themselves until they become the guru, until they become that person who was the guru. And then they find that guru expresses through him, and finally it's the divine who expresses through them. And what seemed like a loss of individuality becomes finally an affirmation of the divine individual of each one, because God has his own melody to sing through every creature in the universe. So what Jesus did above all was take the sins of those who received him. Those who received him completely, he was able to take. A great master can take the sins of his disciples. It's sort of like a weak person. If a bully is beating him up and some strong person stands in the way, the bully's blows won't hurt him, but they could destroy the weak person. And so the guru can take on that karma to a certain extent, but he can't take on the karma of the whole world. That has to be done repeatedly over a long period of time. It would be wrong for him to do it. We have to learn our lessons. He can't take all those away from us. We've got to learn to be punished as we need to in order to become purified and to realize that the only thing we want in life is God.